Hello everyone, my name is Jermaine Dyer. I'm the founder and CEO of Sway Caribbean Model Agency. I'm also a professional model coach. Join me live on the SYLBOURNE SYDIAL Show from London as we cross the Atlantic at Jamaica time 3 p.m. and UK time 9 p.m. Join us on all socials, YouTube, Facebook, and the SYLBOURNE TV. Join us for an informative interview.
Okay, good evening, afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just get this out of the way. I want to thank you so much for joining. My name is SYLBOURNE SYDIAL, straight all the way from the UK, London, England, and welcome to Cross the Atlantic. Cross the Atlantic is a platform which I created for one simple reason, to touch base with people from all over the world. I've got this concept which is called Black Excellence. Black excellence is whereby I try to look for the positive factors in Black people. Even at the same time, I believe that friends of Black people are also awesome. The recent things which are happening all over the world now with COVID, things are happening also regarding even London now regarding demonstrations, and also with Breonna Taylor in America. One of the things that we see all the while is people are at each other's throat. But I have a concept, and the simple concept is this: all kinfolk, all skin folk is my kinfolk. All skin folk is my kinfolk. And why I say that is because there's a Black element in persons. There's a common ground, a common denominator, whereby everyone should try to find this common ground. And that's the reason why I believe in promoting Black excellence as much as possible. Now, my guest tonight, and I'm going to put this sign up here, and this is it, is Mr. Jermaine Dyer. Okay? Jermaine Dyer, and what I call it, the walk, right? The walk with Jermaine Dyer, founder of Sway Caribbean Model Agency. And without further ado, I'm going to bring him on, and I'm going to let him tell you why he's Mr. Sway. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Jermaine, how you doing, sir? Now you can't hear me because I mute you. Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, I'm hearing you now.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I said to Jermaine earlier that if for any reason he cannot hear me, all he's got to say to me is, SYLBOURNE, is your mic on? Am I muted? Or so, Jermaine, listen, thank you so much for coming on. I do appreciate it. And how is Jamaica today?
It's good. It's very hot.
It's very hot.
Extremely hot.
Yeah. And that's the reason why I'm in a coat in the UK, because it's a bit chilly, and you're in your t-shirt. And to be honest with you, I wish that I was in Jamaica as well at this time. As you know, I hail straight away from Ochiris, straight out of Ochi.
Everybody need a passport to get there, so.
So you know about that. You know about that.
Yes.
My sister is the president of Ochiris. You know that?
Really?
Yeah, my sister is the president of Ochiris there. So therefore, so Ochiris is a separate country, isn't it?
Exactly. I guess you can work it out for me to get a visa to go.
Tell me about the story. Tell me about that story. Tell me about that story about why they say that.
Honestly, I don't know where that story started, but it was just something that was on social media, where everybody was saying that they needed a visa to enter to Ochiris.
Yes.
So it's just Jamaicans being Jamaicans. I guess you can.
Tell me about the story. Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me clearly? Yeah?
Yes, I'm hearing it clearly.
Okay, good. Anyway, listen. Let's get cracking. Listen. I'm grateful to Emika. Actually, she's here. Actually, there she is, Emika Hart, for introducing us and saying, listen, you need to get this guy. He's amazing. And here she said, yeah, amazing, to come on to the show. And I always try to find a way, Jermaine, how I can somewhat give back to Jamaica while I'm here in the UK. And I said to myself, let me use my platform also as a gift to Jamaica as well, and to see how I can empower young people and to be a part of the solution at the same time. And for people, tell us about you, Jermaine. Who is Jermaine?
Okay, so my name is Jermaine Dyer. I'm the founder and CEO of Jamaican Model Agency. I'm
Mm,
also a professional model coach. I'm a friend. I'm a lover of God. I'm a lover of people, and I believe in just living your best life and
mm.
enjoying life. That's me in a nutshell. Yeah.
There's more to you, Jermaine.
Yes, there is.
Uh, no, I said there's more to you.
Yeah, there is, but it just an introduction in terms of who I am.
Mm,
That's just like me in a nutshell. I'm a lover of life, a lover of life, lover of people. I always want to see people excel to become the best version of themselves.
yeah.
I
Well,
too has used my platform as I've used my creative used my platform to ensure that I'm able to empower a lot of different types of people, especially young people like myself.
yeah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I can sort of say a bit more, Jermaine, the founder of Sway Caribbean Model Agency, he started modeling from the age of 13. He was Mr. Teen Jamaica United Nations, Mr. Jamaica United Nations, summer school lecturer, EMCVPA, former president of the Davina Bennett Foundation for the Deaf,
Yes, for
former
the deaf.
president for
Yes.
Charity Pageant for the deaf, yeah. Um, and since he started Sway Caribbean Model Agency, he signed his first international model, Danielle Roberts, to two international agencies, New York and Paris. And he's the first male model, Jonathan Isaac, the Q Management, New York. Uh, Tell us, what prompted you to go into modeling? 'Cause it says here you have been modeling from the age of 13.
Okay, so I'm a lover of fashion. I love everything that has to do with the creative aspect of from photography, videography, everything that has to do with that. And again, I was from a family that I wanted to create a way in which I was able to help my mother because where I'm from a large group of family, and I
Yeah,
wanted to be. I want at a younger age. I always wanted to be like the breadwinner to my family, and so uh, being a model or being in the creative industry, I realized that it would have been an easy way for me to show the world who I am.
mm, mm. And what was it like? I mean, at the age of 13, because at the age of 13, the average person is going to school and they're trying to get get themselves to university, but you went in straight into modeling.
Yes. It was not easy because the industry, as like I always like to say, is that it's a dog eat dog world, and if it is that if you're not mentally prepared, then the industry is not for you. Especially when you don't have like good managers or good management, persons who can guide you. And
Yes,
for me, I didn't have that great level of guidance. I always say that my life is really other people teaching me. So I've learned the good and the bad from other people. And so that is something
yeah,
that has molded me into who I am today. And so when I created the agency or when I created Sway, it was for me to um, try to correct certain things that I have encountered. I
yeah,
wanted to make it right. I didn't want no young person to encounter anything that was negative, even
yes,
though you cannot prevent that. But what I wanted to guide them in terms of so that way they understand who they are versus somebody taking advantages of them in the industry.
yeah, yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for coming on. I'm talking to Jermaine Dwyer, from Jamaica, across Atlantic. You can join us on YouTube and also Facebook, YouTube, Silburn TV. Please share, and Facebook as well. And closer to the end, we'll be going over to Instagram where we have the catch up. Tell us about Sway and the vision behind it, because um, Emeka who is my colleague there, she was in Pulse. Is Pulse still there with Kingsley Cooper in
Yes,
Jamaica?
it is. Pulse still does exist.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. All right, so Sway Caribbean Model Agency was created to create diversity within the fashion industry, and was also to give persons a platform who may have been overlooked in the fashion industry. So we wanted to be that agency that gives some persons who other agency has deemed not good enough. We wanted to give them that yes, and also create. Because for us, we don't believe in saying that we create models. I believe in creating brand identities. So once the model
Yeah.
themselves understand who they are as a brand, then they're able to navigate themselves in the fashion industry by owning that brand. And so we wanted to be that persons that you've been knocking on so many doors and you're getting a
Yes.
whole lot of no's, but we wanted to
Mm.
give you that opportunity by saying yes. But with us saying yes, it requires that you had to go through vigorous hard work, and so that you can have a name in the industry.
So that's what we call the yes factor. I mean, we're talking something you say about one yes opens the door for everybody.
Yes, exactly. You can knock on a lot of doors and you will get 100 no's, but one yes will definitely. You just need to know how to mobilize yourself and how to appreciate that one yes that will eventually change your life forever.
I like the concept of one yes because it is something like a motivational factor. One yes. So therefore, you get in there. One yes. I guess what you're actually saying to me, Jermaine, is that you just need to get in there. Just get your foot inside there, and then you do
Exactly.
the rest, bring them to the next level.
Exactly.
Well, I must say back to King
And you have
Cooper.
to
Sorry,
you
sorry, please go ahead. Go ahead.
you definitely have to be is getting the yes, that's fine, but you also need to be appreciative of who is giving you the yes, and you want to ensure that you take every single advantage of that yes, because again, you don't want to destroy that one opportunity that you get. So you want to ensure that you use that one opportunity so that you can open several doors, not only for yourself but for other
Mm.
persons who have been face the same thing that you have been facing for years in terms of getting this constant no and people telling them that they're not good enough.
Right, right. It's interesting what you said there, the concept no. So therefore, what you're saying, and ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you your age, and it's up to you if you want to know what to say your age. How old are you, if you don't mind?
I'm 24.
Okay, 24. I'm glad you
I'm
said it.
24. Yes.
Now, at 24, you're finding yourself, and I guess based on your experiences, Jermaine, that you're able to now
Yeah.
find young people and to encourage them to be the best that they are. Even though I sense that yes, you let them walk properly, but you also build their sense of purpose, isn't it?
Yes, greatness is within every single person, and so
Mm,
I don't want to give away too much of a secret, but my key thing is always to ensure that these young men and young women become the best version of themselves. So
mm,
whatever they have, I will always mobilize it for it to be great. I always add to it. So it's not only about teaching them how to have the best work. It's really rigorous training that they have to go through to so that they can basically become the person that the world would want to see.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
So tell me now, talking about the world that they want to see. Tell me now, COVID is there, right? COVID is affecting everyone. How have you swayed through COVID, or are you affected by COVID?
Well, we sorry, that's a tough question. However, what I've been doing, I have went back to the drawing board. So we have been doing a lot of classes virtually. We have been having face-to-face meetings. We're following the protocols in terms of mask is mandatory. We're doing the temperature checks and stuff like that. And we it's been difficult. However, I'm using the platform to create a space that we can still stay afloat with everything that is happening right now in this entire pandemic. So I'm looking at different creative ways that we can still stand into the industry, and so that we can also have a name locally and internationally. But we had to go to the drawing board to restructure. We had to go to the drawing board to restructure, to regroup, to replan, reorganize. All of that we had to do. Everything is as if we're starting over the business. We have to rewrite some things in the business plan, change some things so that we can fit it into the now of what is
Yeah.
happening.
So therefore, what you're saying, you have to adapt and you got to innovate in light
Exactly.
of and so what is your target then? Your target world now? Now that it's virtual, is it for international? Is that where you're going?
Virtually, yes. I'm focusing on working with a lot of different types of models from all over the world. I started already working with some models from New York and even from London, and it's really been some very amazing experiences. And so that's where virtually that's where we're at right now. But I'm a person that really I'm a face to face person, so it's really difficult because virtually there's so much that one it's I don't think they get it the way I want them to get it.
Yes.
But that's why it's a challenge for me to create other ways in which I am able to ensure that they
And yeah,
navigate them into the
yeah.
industry.
What is like the I mean now with the COVID bit and lots of young ladies want to get into modeling. Is there a
Mhm.
drive for that still, or they're just sort of pull back now? Is there stimulation still for that? Is that a challenge?
There is actually, and I was talking mainly about the downside, but the upside about it is that we have gotten so many submissions because I don't know if because COVID had so many persons being at home now and they need something to occupy their time. So
Yeah.
now for persons who didn't thought that they have the opportunities or believe that they were good enough, they are now making submissions. They're making that bold step to be a part of something that they usually didn't even wanted to put their energy into it. But now they're putting their energy into it, definitely. And so we're seeing where more persons are applying. We see, but what I'll say though is that for persons who want to apply for an agency, you have to do your research. You have to research the agency properly before you make any submissions to any agencies. Because what you want to ensure is that whatever brand that you are, that agency
Yeah.
fits in that.
Mm. What would you say are then some of your? I just wanted. Emika just said, turning the nose into new opportunities. So that is what is happening. People are transforming and turning the nose into new opportunities. What would you say then are some of your great achievements to date? Uh,
Ooh, all right. That's interesting. So to date, Tony and Singh, Miss World, I'm the trainer for Miss Tony and Singh, and she has
mm,
been just a light. She has been a light. She has been one of my greatest achievements. She was somebody that I always like. She's a replica of me because she saw and she conquered, right? Um,
mm,
it was for me. I always say this. It was a spiritual journey. It was a different journey. It was not something that I was used to. It was very challenging. However, together we were a force to reckon with. Uh, it's really been an amazing journey.
and that is to get her to do the walk as well. What
That's to get
is it?
her to
No, keep going on. Yeah, yeah, to get her
that's
to do the walk. Yeah.
that's to get her to that is to get her to understand who she is as a person, understand her brand identity. I didn't change a whole lot. I didn't change a whole lot because she genuinely came in as a pageant queen, somebody who wanted something and she worked extremely hard to achieve that.
Mm-mm. And
Yes,
other sort of work that you've been doing with other persons and stuff. Because I believe at the same time, I understand that you came here with her to the UK during the
yes.
Miss World or something like that.
Miss World, yes. And that experience was for me. It was an reassurance to say that I'm good enough.
Mm, mm,
That was for me was a learning experience. It was I don't have words to even explain that experience, but that for me was to let me know that if I can do it for one person, then I can do it for 50 more persons. And that is really my aim, is to give 50 more girls that
yeah.
opportunity to shine. So even if they don't win, and I think as a pageant coach, when I look at myself, going up against all of these well-known pageant coaches all around the world who are millionaires and they have made their name and their also name around the industry. And for me, from the little dot in Jamaica, a
Yeah.
little black boy that started just training in a open space, no office space, nothing. And I was able to give a young lady uh, a part of me so that she can become a global ambassador for the world. It is extremely amazing. And even the other day, I was talking to somebody and they were saying to me that, Jermaine, a lot of people can say that they train a Miss World, they train a Miss Universe, but few person can say I have trained a girl to win. And when they said that to me, it really opened up my eyes to saying that okay, this is really a big deal. And for me, I didn't see it as a big deal because when you're in your own country and you're not appreciated or you're not pushed to do more, because a lot of person does not see you as somebody that they would want to motivate to do better, then it's
Yeah.
really it's demotivating. There are days that you just want to give up on your craft, but then I've
Mm,
learned that the gift that you have within you, nobody can take that gift. So
yeah.
that's something that I've always hold on to, is that nobody can ever take that gift from me. To Nobody can ever train like me either. So that is something that I always have to hold on to.
So you should say you're the original geezer then. Sorry, it's a term. You're the
Exactly.
original.
Exactly.
Well, listen, Emika just said something when I mentioned about
Exactly.
the walk. She said, "That's not a walk. That's a glide." Is that correct?
That's so true. That's so true. I train my models to sway, and I'll say it's a sway. It's a smooth sailing thing. You don't hear any stamp. And I train women and men to walk into a room and to own that room and to own
Mm,
their identity without even opening up the mouth and talk. And for me, I just want young people to understand that whatever space that you're going into, you just need to learn how to earn the space, because I too is not I'm not perfect. I do make
yeah.
a lot of I make a lot of different types of mistakes, and I've done several interviews and I'm not perfect in terms of when I'm trying to get the points across in the interviews, because I always like what I said to you, is that there's so many information that is in my head and I'm trying to get
You want to get
all
out?
of it out. There's so many things I
Yeah.
want to get out, but you just always have to be passionate be passionate about your craft and be passionate about owning your identity,
Mm.
just owning
But
your
sep-
identity.
but separate apart from Tony and Byfield, what about Kimberly Dawkins, Miss Supranational Jamaica 2019?
Yeah. Kimberly Dawkins was she has done exceptionally well, because
Mm,
she was actually when she went to Miss Supranational Jamaica and they called me and they said that she was placed in the top two in the runway category. That was something that was extremely good, because when you have models or pageant queens that go to other countries and they're not prepared and they go up and they do extremely well, it's really mind blowing. When they didn't have all the resources like other person, person.
It's interesting.
Just that for her to not, because when she went, she didn't have all the resources. She didn't have all the resources, but she used what she had to ensure that she represented Jamaica to the best of her ability. And that is something that I've always, I'm always in awe, because I've always realized that these girls always take everything that they learn from training to define the
Yes.
odds.
Now, you keep talking about women, so do you discriminate against men for men? I mean, I put up a couple
Oh,
pictures of you there. I mean, you're not talking about the men. Let me.
the thing is, and the honest truth is that women are,
I mean, that's
they're
you there. That's
easier.
you there. That's how you started.
Yes, that's me. Women are easier to train. Women are easier to train. Men now is like, it's a roller coaster. It's for males have the easiest walk, and they take it's the longest. They took the longest time to actually get it. For females, the the female walk is so difficult, but because they're so passionate and because they want something, they're able to just navigate and dominate the field. I'm not saying that I haven't had some exceptionally males who came and they saw it and they conquered.
Yeah,
I do have some males who, like Jonathan Isaac, he was just a natural born model.
yeah. Are you there?
They also
We
conquered.
sort of lose. Yeah, we sort of losing a little Wi-Fi there, but I think that's Flo. Is it? Are you with Flo?
No,
I
I'm
hear that.
actually
I hear that Flo in Jamaica. Sorry,
I'm not coming.
are you with? You're not gonna comment. Well, listen. I can comment
I'm
because I'm
coming.
not there, but I got a program which is called "Don't Go with the Flow," and people always say, "Boy, Silburn, if you keep doing that, when it comes to Jamaica, they will never advertise on your program. Don't go with the Flow because Flow is that network down in Jamaica, which I've been hearing is giving people lots of problems. But so we won't go there because I want to make sure that Flow sign you up as well and be one of your sponsors.
Exactly. So
Exactly. Ah, okay. I lost Jermaine there for a moment, but I told him, yeah, he will come back on shortly, if anything. So that's no problem. Yeah. Jermaine will come back, ladies and gentlemen. Jermaine Dyer, founder of Sway Caribbean Model Agency. But I want to also give a shout out to Emika, who actually, until Jermaine comes back, uh, who linked me up with Jermaine. And one of the interesting things, though, ladies and gentlemen, that's why I love what I'm doing now, because I'm able to promote um, persons persons things. And here we are. Let me see with Emika there. This is the business there. This is powerful. Look at this. Look at this there. Look at that. She, yeah, there it is. London. That's a beautiful thing there. London luxury scented collection. That is that is powerful. You guys need to check that out. But I'm going to have an exclusive with Emika when more of this is out there. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that there. Look at that. Those are candles, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome candles. Look at that. That's that's powerful. Look at that. Powerful candles there. Straight out of London. And much more to I'm not going to even touch anymore on that there while I wait for Mr. Jermaine to come back. I think we lost their connection, but nevertheless, still, let me do one more. Let me do one more, and there's one more here. This one is got this. Got this. Got this one. These are candles, ladies and gentlemen. Candles, right? Sheol candles, and look out for that exclusive, which I'll be having with Emika at some point. Well, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna keep talking, and wait for Jermaine to come back. Jermaine, if you're watching, or if any of your mates are there, just tell him that we wait for him to sign back in. He said it wasn't flow, so it shouldn't be a problem. But ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about modeling? I consider myself a model as well, role model. You know, are you a model? Rika, how are you doing? Are you a model? What do you think about this in this world that we live in? How can people do effective modeling now, which is by what should I say? Um, they can do it by virtual. Okay, there it is. She London.com, luxury candles and diffusers. Let me see. Uh, let me see. Jermaine, let me see. If you can, okay, if you can log back in. There we are. There we are. And he's back. This, Jermaine, you shouldn't talk bad of flow. You know that. You shouldn't talk bad of flow. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jermaine? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Yes, yes. Don't worry. You did the right thing by coming back in. But I said it's because we were talking about flow. So flow.
I was thinking the same thing. I was just thinking the same thing.
So flow is the greatest thing on earth, and it's the best company, the best since Digicel, and they're doing fantastic things in Jamaica, and we want them. And I will go with the flow today, you know, because I'm with Jermaine, so we're going with the flow. So flow, that's cool, my man. Apologies,
That's awesome.
but yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about this thing about branding now because you know, you talk when we're talking at one point on the phone, brand identity, and I want you to get into that as to the concept of branding. Everybody's always talking about branding. I want you to go for it, um, Jermaine.
Okay, so brand
Yeah.
identity, very much interesting. So if it is that you are entering you're entering modeling, and let me use modeling. So you're entering modeling and you're new to the industry. You want to ensure that you create an identity that
Mm,
every single person can resonate with.
yeah.
Now, when you talk of when you understand what your brand is, nobody, for example, can enter a room and say to you, "Hey, strip," because you understand what your brand stand for. Then you're not going to just jump ahead and just strip. You'll be more assertive. You'll be more commanding in terms of asking a lot of different types of questions. Why is it that I should do this, and why is it? Because you want to ensure that you understand exactly what your brand identity stands for. So it's
Mm,
nothing. It's nothing too. It's not nothing extravagant. It's just simple things. Is that you just need to understand your brand identity in terms of who you are as a person. So when I was a model, if I'd learned that and if I'd understood my brand identity and understand that I'm a brand, because only thing that I was told is that my eyes are my assets, my facial structures are my assets. But then if you put assets is these assets are a part of me, and
mm,
you want me to be a part of your brand, and majority of these big huge brands that is in the modeling industry look at models as products. They don't really look at you as people, they look at you as products. And so you want to ensure that all of your assets are maintained and your assets are in line with and stands with your integrity. That's why brand identity in the fashion industry is very much important.
and it's
Yes.
two factors you're looking at. You're talking about the brand, the person, and also the brand of the product or so, which they are actually displaying. So it's two brands come together. Does
Exactly.
does German brand
Exactly.
fit with my product or so like that? That's crucial.
Exactly. Exactly. So for us, I always said to the models that are part of Sway Cabin Model Agencies that I always said to them, you have to be careful how you act, how you talk, and the type of body language you try to give off to a lot of different types of person, especially in a work environment. because that is once you go out there to represent the Sway brand, you're not only representing the Sway brand, you're also representing yourself as a brand. So that way, every single person that works with you already want to rework with you over and over again because one, you maintain a strong level of professionalism and you understand
Yes.
exactly what it is to take care of your brand and also to show appreciation for somebody else's brand.
Right, right. So that is very crucial when it comes to brand because people are always talking about brand this, brand that. Uh, 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 do you think then that there's also a danger of person branding someone out of who they are and
Exactly. So
turning into something else?
and that is why you definitely has to be you have to do a research if you're going to be a part of a brand or if you want to be a part of a company. It's a pivotal thing that you have to do your research. You definitely have to do your research to understand, to find out, is this brand in line with who I am as a person? Is
Yes,
this brand represent who I am? Because again, if you are somebody that does not believe in shooting believe in putting yourself into a position that you have to shoot something nude, then you'll be uncomfortable and then you would then write up a lot of negativity or a lot of negative things about that brand or that particular brand. So if that brand is not in line with who you are as a person, it does not make sense for you to invest time, energy, and money into that.
right, right.
It don't make any sense.
And what you're saying is that this is one of the things that you're doing now to ensure that person don't fall into those pitfalls or those traps where you didn't have that knowledge
Exactly.
before. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Now,
so
now, sorry,
all my
please,
models
please, sorry.
understand what it is. All my models understand what it is to have the importance of brand identity. Once they come in and they start the training program, I tell them to remove this notion of I am a model because
Yeah,
every single person can become a model or
yeah,
anything. Anybody can take up their phone and go up from the background and say, okay, I'm a model today. But not every single person can say that I'm a brand because when you're a brand, there's so many different types of things that
mm,
that you push forward, push forward for
yeah.
other people to want to engage and to want to be a part of your brand. Yeah.
That's powerful. Those are powerful words of wisdom, and I think I'll go straight into the whole issue now. That if you've got young persons now who want to get into modeling, what is your advice to them in regard to the pitfalls and the plus and the minus? Is it yeah? What do you say to them?
Firstly, I would want young people to understand that not because you see somebody having, so many glamorous pictures, glamorous videos. That's not. That's just the final product that you're seeing. That
Yeah.
is only the final product. For the person to get to that glamorous stage, they had to do a lot of different types of work. They had to create a team of persons.
Mm, mm,
As young people, I want to encourage them not to get caught up into the fairy tale part of the fashion industry. It is something that I'm a part of the industry and I make a living from the industry, but I'm truthful. I'm always honest about the industry. And so I'm always telling models to ensure once you want to enter the field of modeling, ensure that you do a lot of research
yeah.
in terms of research on all different types of brand names. Ensure that you're able to pronounce the names. Ensure that you're able to know the brands that represent particular if you're black persons. If you're a black person,
Yeah.
try to get try to stick with brands who represent black persons because then you're able to you be yourself and own the space. And even if you're um, say a white person, then you'd stick to a brand that is able to navigate you into that space because there is opportunity in the fashion industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. However, you need to ensure that you do a lot of research. And if you enter in the industry with all of this fairy tale aspect of it, then you're doomed to fail. And don't enter the industry because your mother, your aunt, or your uncle, or your cousin say to you, "Oh, do modeling because you have the potential. Do modeling because this is something that you genuinely love. This is something that you are passionate about. And because at the end of the day, nobody can ever write an exam paper for you. And life in itself, is an exam that you're going to get a whole lot of no's, and sometimes your parents just don't have the right answers to give you. And so you yourself have to go out there in the industry, you have to buck your toes and learn from your own mistakes and try to correct them as you go along. And the only way you're not going to be too depressed or too down about it is because you're genuinely passionate about the industry. But once it's somebody that's forcing the industry, then you will not have a long shelf life in the industry. So ensure that you're extremely passionate about it.
So what you're actually saying then is, for persons who are going into this industry, they have to ensure that it's not just someone saying, "Hey, you're tall and you look great" or whatever. They've got to have it deep within themselves to make sure that's what they want.
Exactly.
What would you say then are the? I think you may have answered that question.
Or
I think you may have answered that question already. What would you say are the key pitfalls in this industry?
The key pitfalls are not. All right, the key pitfalls are not doing. You're not research. You did not do any research, any at all. And again, it's as I said before, it's a dog eat dog world, and it means that you have to definitely have a thick skin, and so you cannot be. I've been a part of brands where a person said to me that you're too black, so you cannot represent my brand. No, those are things that could have break me apart, but all you have to learn how to just take everything with a smile, understand who you are as a person, and always let you know you always have to have like confidence and personality that take controls, and then you always have to ensure that you do enough research. If you don't do any research about what you're getting yourself into, and what you can always do, even if you don't have any great knowledge of the industry, you can find a coach or find someone that knows a little bit about the industry, and you do like a 2 weeks program or a 3 weeks program, so you can get an hang of it. Because there's some persons who are born to be models, and there are some persons who become models.
Hubert Musketter, he said he wants to be a model. Sorry, I'm teasing Hubert. He didn't say that actually. He must be dying with laugh now. Some people try to force the younger relatives to live the way they thought the young person should live. That's a comment which he said right there.
Yeah, that is so true. But and this is something that I'm always honest, and I will say this: you cannot live your dreams through your child, and you can't live your dreams through your cousin. You can't live your dreams through your aunt. If a boy goes from a boy, 5-year-old boy, the only is pink. He doesn't love blue. It doesn't love any other color. It's like his favorite color at each time is pink. There's no way you should ever change that child's mind to adapt to what you believe that society perceive them to be. You want every single person to walk on their own journey, because at the end of the day, you want the person to be comfortable in their truth. You don't want to give them something that you believe that they should take on, and then eventually through life you're dealing with a monster because that person have so many things, have so many angers that they're keeping it because they didn't, reach the true potential to show the world who they are as a person. And so you cannot live your dreams through your family members.
I like to ask persons before we wrap up in the next few minutes is any questions or so you want to ask Jermaine. Jermaine, one of the things also also on Instagram, which I just opened up. Thank you guys for coming on. Jermaine is gonna jump over there with myself in a few minutes just to have the wrap up session over there, so we can have that wrap there. The way you speak, I can see, this is me just saying, there's another aspect of yourself. Even though you talk about models, but you've got this also ability to motivate people, because the things you're saying applies to life, branding, knowing yourself.
Exactly.
I always talk about you need to know yourself. You need to know your sense of your identity, your unique selling point. Who are you? Because if you don't know who you are, somebody's going to make you who they want you to be.
Want you to be exactly.
And that is what
Exactly.
Herbert is just saying, that relative to live there through the young people, a young person should live. And so maybe while you're doing your model thing, you should have some motivational moment for young people to
We
expect.
the programming itself. When I say it's rigorous, it's not about only walking. It's
Yes,
about, we have motivational classes, we have
yes,
critical thinking classes, we
yes,
have it's a for us, modeling is not, for a lot of people, they say it's a lifestyle, but for us we say it's your day-to-day life. And it's something that it's a part of you. And for me, I'm able to talk the way I'm talking now because of all my life journeys, everything that I've been through.
yes.
Unfortunately, sometimes I always wish that I have learned certain things at this point, but I have to be appreciative of where I'm at today, and just to
Yeah.
understand that what has done in the past is already has done, and it's for me to just take advantage of it, and just to
Mhm.
utilize every single thing
Yeah.
as I go through life.
Listen, I could go on further on those motivational bits and tips which you're giving, because I find it very powerful. And as what Emika Hart just said, positive affirmation is
Yes.
really crucial at this time, because even the whole aspect with COVID and all things happening, people are just going crazy. In America,
Exactly. And
yeah,
even for me, COVID had actually let me tap into things like, as kids, that we are afraid to tell our parents, and we put ourselves into this box and we lock it away because it's just like some traumatic experience. And so at age 24, I didn't even expect that I would have had some things, that like some flashbacks, and I was like, what did this happen to me? Did that happen
yes,
to me? Oh,
yes, yes,
and I had to like call persons, because in the flashbacks there's other persons who were in it that time when that particular situation was happening, and I had to call to say, guess what? I had something, and I wanted to find out if this is there. And it's something that is putting young people into, and that is why I created this thing that I with my models about the critical thinking, because I realized that if I don't teach my models about critical thinking,
yeah,
then it will put them into a spot, and then the suicidal rate and stuff like that, because when you don't have anybody to talk to, you're only going to lock yourself into a box,
yes.
and nobody is able to tap into that box unless you want them to tap into that box.
Wow,
And
wow.
a lot of us don't know how to allow people to tap into that box and to get help, because for somebody like me, because I have worked so hard on my own and achieved so much on my own at a young age. At age 13, I know that, okay, life is about working. I don't know what it is to enjoy life, to play, to gimmicks, to all of these different type of things. All I knew was to work and to become the best version of myself, right?
Wow.
And so when you're locked, yes, when you're locked into a box, and then you're stifling into that box, you don't know how to release yourself out, and to have, and especially when you lose good friends, or you lose people who you have trusted, and you're losing friends, and you're losing opportunities, and people are turning their backs on you, and everything is just going south.
Yes.
It plays on you mentally. But what I've learned, because in everything that is negative there's always a positive,
Mm, mm,
I've learned never to wear my heart on my sleeve. So I
mm.
need to be very careful who is able to touch my heart, because for me, I realized that is something that I always left open for a lot of people to use and abuse. And then when it's my time to heal, I'm not able to heal, because the thing about me is that I'm able to motivate, I'm able to ensure that every single person that is within my circle can evolve to become the best version of themselves.
Yes.
And this is something with some teachers, is that you're always able to give some person or let persons see the best version of themselves. But when you look into the mirror and look at yourself, you don't know how to make yourself better. And that's one of my truths, is that I look at my life and I realize that all my life I'm always making a lot of people better, but I cannot make myself better, because this is something that is, when you're younger, you probably hear people talk about first, but you didn't hear about generational wealth. So these are all of these different types of factors that plays on the mind, and so it,
You, you,
it's a really it's really tough, and it's
yeah.
much things so much things that I really want to get out, but it's not an easy journey. It's really not
Can,
an easy journey, and it's not a
I want to ask you this question because Herbert just said it is refreshing to see a young person taking on an industry that has been controlled by older persons and he's proud of you. Can I ask you this question? And I want to
yeah.
be very quick at the same time because of time. Do you find your youth intimidate other persons instead of you being intimidated by your youth?
That's true. A whole lot of time.
Yeah.
and, and some there's a positive and a negative too, because the positive is that when I'm able to motivate a lot of other young persons, they believe that I myself have my life all figured out. But it's
Mm,
just that I'm only able to give you that right answer at that particular time. But deep down, I'm still learning.
yes.
But because I've had that experience, I'm able to share that experience with you. But I'm still not able to help myself. And that's something that I've genuinely see for years, is that
Mm,
I'm always able to help other people, but I've never had someone that I can run to to be that voice, or somebody will be willing to listen to everything that I'm going through, so that
yes.
way, to ease the burden. But I
Mm,
realized that in life, um, everybody was called here for a purpose, and maybe my purpose is just to motivate others, and my time is just when God wants my healing to come,
well,
and the
one thing
greatest
for sure.
healing is from God. So
Well, one thing for
yeah.
sure, you're on the right track. And I want to ask you one question before we go is what would you say is your favorite quote or your favorite mantra? What is those words? Because I stop you right there. People sometimes are in a down, and based on what I'm speaking and hearing from you, at times when you're down and things are looking bad. But what are the key words that take you up, pick you up, and inspire you that will be a refreshing to other people?
All right. So one of the first thing that I always do is learn how to say thank you. That's one of the
Mm,
things. Thank you for life. Thank you for friends. Thank you for even your enemies.
mm,
Like every single morning and every single evening, night, I'm always saying thank you. That's something that I realize that I'm always saying a whole lot nowadays. Is to just say thank you and be more appreciative of everything that life has to
mm,
offer. One of the other things that I always said is that my deepest fear is not that I am inadequate. My deepest fear is that I'm powerful beyond
yeah.
measures. And one of my other things that motivates me is to say that failure is not fatal, nor is it final. So I'm navigate through life
Mm.
every day with that.
So therefore, what you're saying then, in a sense, and this is a word, failure is a path to success.
Exactly.
Because
It
without
is.
success, without failure, you'll never know certain things, you know. And I,
And success in itself, and success in itself is not final either.
yes, and
Success, success in itself is not final.
gratitude is a must, as Emeka said, and as what Coffee
Exactly.
would say. Well, listen, Jermaine, I want to thank you so much for coming on. Now, I've seen Herbert said he wants to be a model. Emeka says she wants to be a model. How can they sign up to be a model tomorrow? Herbert, I'm putting you
Okay.
forward. I'm not the one. I'm just
So
a role model. You can be a model.
all you have to do is
Okay.
just contact me at 1-876-539-9931,
Yeah.
9931, or you can just
Yes.
email me at swaycaribbean888@gmail.com, and you can just send me like a full body picture of yourself along with your name, age, and act, and
Yeah.
I'll definitely get in touch with you.
Well, the numbers are going across there, so persons can see that. And Jermaine says yes. Herbert says yes. He's going to sign up. So you got a man in the UK here. So you're cool. Emika already says she's going to sign up. as well. Well, listen.
And I must say that I'm really appreciative of Emeka. Um, my journey with Tony, and I think, and I know that a lot of persons been following me a long before Tony, but after the journey with Tony, and Emeka has been one of those persons who
Mm,
I think is a level is a source of strength. Just for me to know that there's people around the world that still is appreciative of my craft, appreciative of my work, and they want to see me evolve to become the best version of myself.
mm.
So that's something that I'm very much appreciative of.
Well, I want to say that I can echo that because you could say that about someone, and I say, okay, cool. But Emeka has been a good friend of mine for many years, you know, and normally I'll run things past her, and she said, listen, you've got to get Jermaine on, and I've been trying for a while until COVID came and just lick us off course the time.
Yes,
But you see, the thing with COVID, we've got to make sure we stay on course and stay on focus, right? At this time, stay
exactly.
on course and focus. And listen, I want to thank you so much for coming on, Jermaine. It was a pleasure, and it was awesome on Cross the Atlantic. Ladies and gentlemen, Cross the Atlantic is a program whereby I tap into different persons from across the world. Jamaica is the land of my birth, so therefore I always get Jamaicans on, and I want to make sure that my platform empowers Jamaican. You have listened to Jermaine, and you have listened to his journey. At the age of 13, he started, and now we're 24. So that's 10 years he's been in the business. 10 years,
Exactly.
and that is powerful. And the testimony of it is based on what you've heard him saying about the words. Just yes, open the door. You say one yes. And this is something which is powerful, which I picked up when I was speaking to him. He said, one yes, just one yes. And sometimes people will turn people off because of certain things. What is it? One yes. Once you get that yes in, then I take it further. And then he also talk about the failures. And I pick up on it as well, that failure, you cannot have success without failure, or that's a part of the process. And right now,
Exactly.
as even though he's a model, but the key thing also is that he's inspiring persons, and I'm listening to it, and people are listening, and this is good for other young people as well. Is that while you're actually going through the process of being a model, it's like a shaping of the mind as well. And the
Exactly.
shaping of the mind is so crucial because it talks about branding. Who are you? The identity. And my word when I hear about branding, because many people come up and say, branding, I brand you. And I say, hang on a second. Always we make sure that someone don't brand you out of who you are. And Jermaine can correct me here. You only can brand somebody once you find who they are and build on it, isn't it, Jermaine?
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
instead of taking them out to be something. So that's my summing up as well. And ladies and gentlemen, Jermaine, Instagram, we're gonna pop over there in a couple of minutes as well. So Jermaine, any last word before we switch platforms?
Well, I just want to tell you thanks. I just want to tell you very much thanks. I really, really appreciate it. And, continue to use your platform to give young people like myself
Yes,
an opportunity to showcase who we are as a people.
the pleasure is mine,
That's it.
and of course, when I come to Jamaica, of course, make sure we meet because my mother was talking to me and said, "You're not coming back to Jamaica. I tell you, you guys better pack up and come to Jamaica because everything is gone. We need to go back because COVID
No,
are
we're
coming.
not better than you.
No, we're not better than
That's
that."
right. No, we're
And
not better than you.
oh,
That's right.
before I go, I have to ask you this question: politics. What's your take about the recent election? I see. Are you a
Okay.
PNP? I see a look at orange color behind you. Oh, I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Ah,
Sorry.
well,
Yeah, let's just
my,
quick
my,
one there.
my thought my thoughts on politics is that any single person that vote once they if you're part of the PMP or the JP, whatever that you're part of, once you're the leader of the opposition or the leader of the current party, and you become a prime minister, you need to be the prime minister of the people and not prime minister of the party that you're affiliated with.
Yes.
Because people always vote on
Mm,
policies. Young people is always going to vote on policies. Nobody is going to vote because the directed JLP, that is the thing of the past. And so
Mm.
if you're not implementing policies to motivate or to let people become, more what I would say, they people want more opportunities to
Yes.
they need more opportunities, job opportunities, and stuff like that. So the more opportunities there is, then persons will definitely vote on someone that is strong on policies that will benefit them and benefit their generations to come. Because whatever you do today is not about the
Mm.
opposition going there and switching it and you're starting over from scratch. It's about ensuring that you're able to build on what the previous administration had
Yes.
created, so that we'll have a better way in terms of navigating ourselves. But it's not for us to be a
Okay.
part of different parties and then change the narrative or pause this work and say that you don't want to follow through with that work because it's not good enough.
Yeah.
So they need to mostly focus on the people and not the party that you're affiliated with.
Okay. So I'll see you in Parliament in Jamaica in a few years from now. Okay. All right.
Well, I'm not sure about that one.
All right. Well,
I'm
listen.
not sure about that one.
Want to thank you so much for that. I'm gonna go now, but if you can just join me over into Instagram, yeah.
All right, no
Okay.
problem.
Thank you very much, Jermaine. All the best,
All right,
and I'll see you on. Thank you, sir. Bye bye.
yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining, and that was great with Jermaine Dyer, and Jermaine, who is the CEO of and the founder of Sway Caribbean Model Agency. Powerful, inspirational, and entertaining at the same time. Remember, you can always link me and contact me on Silburn Show, Silburn TV. You can join me on Instagram now. And I want to give thanks also to Emeka, who made this possible with this awesome company, She-O London. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to check it out. She-O London, luxury scented collection. Luxury scented collection. And check out that interview, which is due soon with Emeka as well. And let me just show you again. There we go. Awesome. Awesome. And much more to come. So check that out in the future. So without further ado, I want to thank you so much for coming on. And listen, as I said before, and I'm going to say it again, make sure we know this. All skin folk, yeah, is your king folk. Let's not be divisive as much as possible. If we say Black Lives Matters, every Black Life matters. We don't separate, we strengthen and we build on each other. Okay? Peace out. Have a good night. Thank you all for joining on the show. And we see you again next time and next week as well. Peace out. Bye bye.